Hey guys, welcome back to Boys, Toys and a Farm. It's been a while, but stick around because I got updates. Let's go. So it's been a while since I posted a video, and that's because I've had a lot change in my life recently. Biggest of which, I bought a house. But I'm no longer in Ontario. I moved to Alberta. I'll get into that in a separate video, but today I'm going to be focusing on that red car sitting in the garage. Now that might look familiar to some of those who have watched previous videos, but that's actually a new, to me, diesel Grand Cherokee. And I'll get into why I purchased that car. And Scout. Hey guys. As I'm editing this video on this very rainy weekend, I realized I left out a couple pretty important points, so I'll be filling you in on those now. The first point being why I bought the Grand Cherokee in the first place and why I won't be driving this Green Commander anymore. So when you relocate from one province to the other and you re-register your vehicle in the new province to get their license plates, you have to get an out-of-province inspection, which is essentially a safety inspection. And that's where the issues arise with the Commander. The issues being rust. This rust above the windshield doesn't really matter. Or this rust on the trunk also doesn't matter. But this rust does. This rust does. This rust does. And this rust does. Because this rust is part of the unibody, and therefore it's considered structural. And that's the big dilemma with the Green Grand Cherokee, is that it does have rust on parts of the car that are considered structural. And while if the parking brake isn't functional, they can pass it off as well. It was functional at the time of inspection. Rust doesn't work that way because it doesn't form overnight. It takes a long time to form and to rot away. And that's where my issue is that there are structural parts of the Jeep that are rotted away. And while in practical terms, the Jeep is perfectly fine to drive. It's not going to fall apart. It's not going to split in half on the road. According to the books, it is a safety liability. And that's why it won't pass an out-of-province inspection in Alberta. And that's why I ultimately ended up buying the red Grand Cherokee, is because this vehicle wouldn't pass an out-of-province inspection, which means I am not able to get insurance on it. And without insurance, I'm not able to drive it. And now I'll bring you guys back to the previous recordings of the new red Grand Cherokee. I'll walk around, show you guys the issues, what was wrong with it when I purchased it, and some of the repairs of those issues. Well, this is kind of like deja vu. I moved the Commander out of the garage so that I can wash this thing, but I figure I'd give you guys a walk around before I wash it. This is as I bought it, another 2008 Grand Cherokee with a 3-liter diesel. Body is in, I would say, 6 out of 10 shape. There is some rust on the trunk and on the roof. This side has been scraped along something at some point. The doors are pretty clean. The hood is rough. The hood I don't think is original to the car. The clear coat's all faded. It's got a hole in it over here. and it feels quite thin. This car does have hail damage on the hood, on the fenders, on the roof. The roof has some rust on it where the hail hit and the paint chipped. Inside, almost everything works. The sunroof is taped. The sunroof doesn't work, but all the functions inside work. Quadra drive 2, very dirty. I have to clean it all out. The previous owner left a lot of junk in here. It came with a second set of wheels, so that's good. Came with some extra radios. Here there's some rust starting. Overall, for rust, it's a lot cleaner than the Commander. This car, like the body, the exterior panels have some rust, but the body is actually very good. Like the strut towers are nice and clean. All of the connections and hose clamps and everything on the engine are nice and clean. This chassis brace and all the connections here are really clean. This strut tower. So the car itself will serve me well. So I purchased this Jeep for $2,500 Canadian. And the biggest caveat, it needs some work. The windshield is very cracked. The whole windshield needs to be replaced. The reason I got it so cheap is mostly because it has an underboost code and it goes into limp mode, but you can hear that there's a big boost leak when you're driving it. So hopefully that will be a relatively easy fix. Quick fire, things that are wrong with this Jeep. Number 1, battery. Fixed. Number 2, roached winter tires and one that is flat. Tires fixed. Number 3, clock spring. Airbag light and clock spring fixed. Problem number 4, put wheel spacers on with nuts that are too long, and they're the ones with inserts that expand, corrode, expand, and you can't get your socket on. Fixed. Excuse you. Number 5, passenger rear window won't roll up all the way. Window fixed. So I have the rear window glass out and I have the motor assembly out, and now I know why it wasn't going up all the way, because the wire fell out of the bottom pulley and it's all bound up in here. So I have to take this apart and fix it. Okay, after a lot of fighting, I got the wires re-spooled and back on, but I think I'm gonna need a new one because this wire was very frayed, and right at the end I fucked it, broke one strand, and I betcha that one strand is gonna cause everything to get fucked up. But we'll see. Maybe I can close the window and then just leave it closed all the time through this winter. Okay, so I'm working on the Grand Cherokee here, trying to investigate this boost leak. And I thought the boost leak was going to be here, in between this pipe and this one. I thought this O-ring was either bad or it wasn't seated properly. But everything looked okay there. Everything looked okay on this connection. Then I took this hose off the intercooler. It goes like that. And look what I found in this hose. Hold on. Look at that split in it. That's never going to hold boost. And now that's going to bring us to what's going to happen to this commander moving forward. Well, this commander's taken off the road and it's not going to be driven anymore. It's not worth it to cut the rust out, weld in new metal, repaint, and go through all that effort to put this one back on the road. But I do very much prefer the Commander over the Grand Cherokee. And that's why we bought a second. So this Commander will be featured in the next video. But basically, I bought a 2009 Commander registered in Alberta already, so it doesn't need to pass out of province inspection. But crucially, this Commander is extremely clean, doesn't have almost any rust on it anywhere. I'll show you the condition of this car in more detail in the next video. But basically the plan is to take the diesel drivetrain and off-road suspension and off-road accessories off of this green Commander and install them on this red Commander, which is already registered in Alberta. It's rust-free, very good bones for a long-term project. And then this one will eventually be scrapped.